programmer.com. I was going to try to find a more scenic location than on the patio back here in Hawaii, but it seems like if I try to record by the ocean, it's just a little too noisy. So I'm just going to stick with this for now. But anyway, I've got a question here that I thought was a good one, sort of a follow-up to some of my videos, and I thought I'd answer this one today. So basically it says, hello John, hope all is well with you. I'm writing because I was hoping you could offer advice for a problem I've been having, namely focus. It's been a long time since I've been able to really focus on anything related to development. I've had this problem now for a few years. It doesn't seem to get any better, even if I'm learning new technologies. And he says he spent most of his year diving to a bunch of different technologies, which he loved doing. I think my biggest problem is not enjoying the work the way I used to. I don't really have time for side projects outside of work. As you point out in your YouTube video, it tends to be the answer to, quote, burnout. Working on really fun stuff, basically, right? So, which I think I might have. So he thinks he might have burnout. I still get really excited about new projects and new technologies, but that excitement burns out very quickly. I'm taking a couple of Coursera courses, and I really enjoy the lectures and reading materials, but when it comes time to programming assignments, I quickly lose interest. I don't really know who else to ask about this. I've got a lot of developer friends, but you seem to be great at offering great advice at the right time. Do you have any idea what I can do to fix this? I still like programming, but part of me wonders if I'm burned out or if I actually just jaded by the situation that I've been in, having to bring agile, code reviews, best practices everywhere I've been rather than that being in place. What are your thoughts? So here are my thoughts on this. First of all, on the focus issue, well, let me put it this way. Basically, just to start things off, work sucks. And I'm actually being pretty serious about this. So, one thing that you just have to know is that whatever you're doing, if you're being paid to do it and compelled to do it in order to get a paycheck, after some period of time it will suck. It doesn't matter how excited you were about it to start with. It doesn't matter how much you're being paid to do it, how much you did enjoy it. At some point it's going to, just for some reason, you know, when you have to do something to earn a paycheck, it eventually sucks. And I can say this from experience, having worked for a lot of different companies, always trying to find that better company, that better technology, the thing that I really wanted to do. Oh, I really want to work from home. Even work for myself. Oh, if I could just write courses, if I could just, my blog could be my income. It is now, right? So, but sometimes it does suck. Now, it doesn't suck all the time, but in general, you just have to realize that when you're doing something that you have to do to get paid for, and not because it's totally voluntary, right? Then it basically ends up sucking to some point. So it's pretty normal to feel burned out, to feel the lack of focus, to feel like you don't really want to do something anymore, especially in programming, right? So so that is why, you know, one of the things that I'm still going to recommend, even though you said you don't have time for a side project, is to set aside some time to do something that you enjoy in programming related. You know, it might even be outside of it, but really to get that kind of joy and excitement back about programming, if that's what you want, you need to be working on something. Let's say you take half an hour a day, right? I mean, that's not a huge amount of time commitment. That's probably going to help you. I mean, everyone has half an hour a day. You might have to cut back some other things, but if this is a priority to you, then pick something that you're going to be excited about and work on. I mean, you're watching the Coursera videos. Obviously, you're excited about that, and that's good. But you know, it seems like you want to be more excited about programming, and maybe that will help. It's also okay to not be so excited. I mean, you're also going to go through phases. The careful thing that I would say is that you know, what are your goals and where are you trying to get? It's perfectly fine to say, hey, I'm not interested in writing code necessarily right now. I'm interested in these other things, and not do that so long as it doesn't conflict with your goals. because if your goals lie in you improving those skills and you know really going forward in that direction, then you'll need to find a way to grin and bear it to get through this, to get to the other side. You don't want to constantly be thrashing, right? Going from thing to thing. You know, it depends again. You know, where you're at in your career, in your life, in your context. You know, right now, actually, for me, I'm more. You know, I've achieved a lot of the things that I wanted to set out and achieve, in both in career and financial perspective. So I'm a little bit more willing to go from thing I like to thing I like, and not necessarily have to grin and bear it through through something that I don't particularly like at that point. I can go with my energy, right? So when it's pointing in one direction, I can go with that flow. So not everyone is in that position. I mean, and I haven't always been. You know, there have been times I've had to go through and bear it. So basically what I'm saying is that you know, if I think about this, what you're describing is not is normal. I think most people, if they would admit it, that they do feel burnt out, they feel like they don't enjoy programming as much as they used to. And that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. And then the fact that you're bringing, you know, just wanted to address that other point. You said that part of it might be that you're jaded because you're having to bring in these best practices and everything. Yeah, that's tough, but you're never going to find software development shops that are all doing everything exactly right, and you know what really is right. I would try to let go so much of the best practices and not that you shouldn't follow them, but don't get so worried about, you know, if everything is going right, because it's going to be a very stressful way to go about things. So, you know, just think about doing, you know, the most rewarding thing is a job well done, is doing work, meaningful work. And so don't let all that other stuff get in the way and jade you and ruin things for you. Try to basically let some of that stuff go and just do the work. Just write code, you know, and yeah. So that's what I have to say about that. Hopefully that's helpful to you. But yeah, don't worry. I mean, hang in there. If you just feel like you're feeling burnt out, then maybe you do take a little bit of a break, or you try to shift your focus and come back. But you might also find some benefit pushing through it to really reach your goals. All right. Well, thanks for the question. That's a good question. I think a lot of people are probably struggling with similar issues. And if you're watching this video, if you like these videos, if you want to get more questions, your own questions answered, send me an email, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. All right, take care.